Welcome back to CIA Declassified, the broadcast dedicated to dissecting declassified documents that reveal how intelligence agencies seek to exploit the natural world, even its most intelligent marine life, for strategic advantage. Today, we leave the geopolitical boundaries of land and sky and plunge into the maritime exclusion zones. We address the chilling fact that U.S. intelligence explored the possibility of using highly trained dolphins as living, breathing, untraceable weapon delivery systems. Not only did they attempt to do so, they successfully did so, and in fact, the Navy currently utilizes dolphins. We are analyzing the CIA's involvement in what some people refer to as Operation OXYGAS, the Dolphin Assassin Program, treating sophisticated marine biology as a critical operational domain. Our primary evidence is not a single file, but a cluster of redacted funding documents cross-referenced with the explosive information revealed during the 1976 Church Committee hearings, which investigated abuse within the U.S. intelligence community. The Church Committee testimony, specifically in closed sessions concerning non-conventional military and intelligence assets, scrutinized the financial and operational support the CIA provided to the Navy's marine mammal program, where the covert designation OXYGAS was often used internally to describe the lethal offensive deployment of these animals. The context here is deniable naval sabotage. A dolphin can enter a secured harbor, attach an explosive device, and exit, leaving behind no technological or human signature, achieving a strategic objective, sinking a vessel, while maintaining plausible deniability. The file's existence confirms that the unique physiology and intelligence of dolphin were viewed as the perfect solution for tasks deemed too dangerous or politically sensitive for human divers. The analysis focuses on three primary areas: acoustic targeting, limpet mine deployment mechanics, and the interagency funding funnel that fueled the program. Let's drill down into the rigorous and profoundly unethical operational methodology documented in the internal reports tied to this project. The objective was to train these animals to execute complex, lethal tasks on demand. The program required an intense focus on target recognition and payload attachment. The research centered on leveraging the dolphins' innate echolocation capabilities, their biological sonar, to identify, categorize, and locate specific acoustic signatures of enemy ships and submarines, even in deep, murky water. The training methodology documented in the RDP funding series covered two primary skills. 1. Acoustic signature profiling, training the dolphins to differentiate between allied and adversarial hull designs based on acoustic feedback and the unique harmonic resonance of their engines or cooling systems. And 2. Limpet mine development. The deployment system used a specialized non-invasive harness designed to carry a low-profile limpet mine, an adhesive explosive, or a satchel charge. The training emphasized attaching the charge magnetically to the thinnest part of the hull, the vessel's propeller shaft or rudder post, for maximum disruptive effect. The key challenge was maintaining operational secrecy and control. The documents reveal vast resources dedicated to creating sophisticated, sound-isolated training simulators and advanced telemetric tracking devices to monitor the animal's exact location and physiological state during deployment. This was crucial for post-mission retrieval and preventing the animals from being captured by the adversary. The document includes conceptual specifications for establishing target acquisition success rates, the measurable chance of a dolphin successfully placing the charge on the correct target within a specified time limit and depth. Crucially, the Church Committee testimony confirmed the interagency funding trail. Witness testimony in 1976 detailed how CIA RDP files were used to authorize funding for MMP's lethal programs, labeling the expenditures under vague categories like advanced sensory and guidance research and non-human operational logistics. We must now examine the primary finding, the confirmation of the program's lethal objectives despite public denial. This is a critical excerpt from the testimony analysis. This is from an internal memo analyzed by the Church Committee. Quote, The utilization of advanced marine mammals provides a highly efficient, virtually undetectable delivery mechanism for low-yield ordnance in heavily defended coastal areas, representing an asymmetric advantage that is currently unanswerable by adversarial parties. End quote. And the next quote is from a section discussing operational justification. Quote, the cost-effectiveness analysis strongly supports the continuation of the MMP offensive program, as the political deniability afforded by non-human deployment vastly outweighs the ethical and developmental concerns. End quote. This is the true meaning of the program. It states that the ethical line against weaponizing sentient life was crossed purely for the sake of strategic convenience and untraceable aggression. The focus shifted from how do we breach the harbor defenses to how do we send a Marine scout who can't be interrogated. We now address the chilling operational implications of this project, the deployment of Dolphin assassins in strategic maneuvering, as highlighted by the 1976 testimony. The most extensive redactions occur in the section titled Ordnance Retrieval Protocol and Self-Destruct Mechanisms. This suggests detailed discussions around the scenario where an animal might be captured and the analysis of scenarios requiring the remote detonation of the device before the animal could reveal its training or worse, be turned into a double agent. Why redact self-destruct mechanisms? Because this section documents the cold, calculated internal acknowledgement that the lives of these highly intelligent dolphins were entirely disposable to protect the operation's secrecy. The concept discussed is the creation of a deniable assassination capability. The system allowed for the silent, untraceable destruction of key naval assets, from fuel barges to high-value command ships, making coordinated naval movement impossible in specific maritime exclusion zones. The file details the requirement for a specialized high-speed tenders and remote operating stations for deploying and retrieving the dolphins, often disguised as marine biology research vessels. The CIA funding funneled through the RDP series ensured the acquisition of the latest deep-sea acoustic equipment for post-deployment monitoring. The strategic weaponization of this research is clear. It is an aquatic force multiplier weapon that fundamentally changes the nature of long-term maritime conflict, turning the ocean's most charismatic creature into a lethal operative. We conclude our analysis of the files linked to this project. The evidence from the Church Committee testimony supported by the CIA funding documents confirms that U.S. intelligence pursued the direct lethal manipulation of marine mammals as an actionable high-priority strategic objective for covert aquatic sabotage, and as I stated at the beginning, this is still going on. The dolphins have been so successful, they're still in use. The implication is that analysis moved into the sphere of applied zoology for assassination, seeking to exploit the mechanisms of life itself for the sake of perpetual intelligence advantage. This research represents the ultimate betrayal of nature for strategic gain. If this documented truth has opened your mind to the technological boundaries explored by those in power, we require your continued support. First, like this episode and leave us a detailed 5-star review wherever you listen. This is how the analysis exposes the deeper scientific agendas. Second, share this episode with someone obsessed with military history, marine biology, or the frightening reality of aquatic warfare. We need more sharp minds analyzing these documented facts. Now, a programming note for our listeners. We are soon to be ready to return to brand new full-length episodes, but our next investigation will be on Operation Chaos. The CIA is legally prohibited from conducting domestic espionage, but Operation Chaos was the 7-year-long systemic violation of that fundamental law. Tune in next time for CIA Declassified Operation Chaos. Until then, remember, maintain your vigilance, question the calm surface of the water, and keep your critical thinking sharp. I'll see you in the archives.